The veil is torn. The temple curtain that once separated man from the presence of the Almighty was ripped from top to bottom, not by the hands of men, but by the very breath of heaven. Why? So that the presence no longer dwells behind walls of stone, but within the hearts of those who walk in covenant. You are not waiting for God to come down from the heavens. He is already here. He is not distant. He is not silent. He is not watching from afar. He is within you. But if that is true, if the fire of the Spirit, the whisper of the divine, the breath that spoke stars into being dwells within your very being, then how must you live? Live as one who carries the flame. Walk as one who carries the ark. Speak as one who echoes the voice of heaven. The same Spirit that raised the dead now animates your every breath. The same power that opens seas now opens paths before your feet. The same glory that made Moses' face shine now seeks to shine through your actions, your words, your choices. So act as if God is within you because He is. When fear rises, act not as a victim, but as a vessel. When temptation calls, act not as a slave, but as a sanctuary. When the world tries to define you by past mistakes or present failures, act not as an orphan, but as one sealed with purpose, with power, with promise. In the wilderness, the Israelites carried the tabernacle, carefully, reverently aware that inside it rested the glory of the Most High. And now you are the tabernacle. Your life is the temple. Your heart is the inner court. What you do matters. What you say carries weight. Where you walk, the presence walks with you. Every act of love becomes holy. Every moment of obedience becomes worship. Every battle you fight is not yours alone. It is fought by the one who dwells within. There was a time when the presence of the divine dwelled behind curtains, in sacred temples, accessible only to a chosen few. The holy was distant, separated, a presence to be revered but not approached casually. But everything changed. A curtain tore. The barrier was removed not from bottom to top, but from top to bottom by hands unseen, signaling a new way, a new dwelling. The presence no longer resides in stone buildings, but in living vessels. That vessel is you. You are not an empty shell wandering the earth in search of purpose. You are a temple, a sacred dwelling, the breath that spoke creation into being, the wisdom that shaped galaxies, the love that broke chains. These are not foreign to you, they are within. You were not designed to be ordinary. You were designed to carry something extraordinary. That makes your life sacred. Your body is not simply flesh and blood. It is an instrument, a vessel consecrated for divine purpose. If a temple in ancient times was built with such care, covered in gold, guarded day and night, and treated with reverence, how much more should the living temple be treated? When you walk, you carry a presence greater than any king. When you speak, your words echo with the weight of eternal truth. When you act, your actions are not just moral choices. They are movements of a vessel guided by a greater hand. To live with that awareness is to change the way you see everything. Your steps are no longer random. They are guided. Your moments are no longer empty. They are filled with meaning. Your setbacks are not defeat. They are places where grace is about to be revealed. The one who carries something sacred does not walk like those who carry nothing. There is a confidence, not born of pride, but of purpose. There is a quiet strength, not from self, but from source. This changes how you respond to adversity. You no longer need to beg for help from outside when the answer lives within. You no longer need to fear the darkness when the light is already burning inside. You no longer seek identity from the world when your very breath is evidence of divine design. It also changes how you treat others. When you recognize yourself as a living temple, you begin to see others that way too. Every person becomes sacred ground, a potential carrier of the same life-giving presence. You begin to speak with more kindness, act with more patience, love with more depth, not because you're trying harder, but because you're living from within. You are not waiting for a sign, a miracle, or a moment of divine revelation. You are the sign, you are the miracle, you are the vessel through which divine presence moves. Live like it, walk like it, speak like it, because the sacred is not far off. It is here, it is now, and it lives within you. What you carry within shapes how you move through the world. If you believe you are empty, forgotten, or just trying to survive, your actions will reflect that belief. But when you understand that something holy and powerful resides inside you, your life takes on new weight. You begin to walk differently, speak differently, and respond to life with a deeper awareness. You are not ordinary because what lives within you is not ordinary. That awareness is meant to influence every step you take and every word you speak. The ancient tabernacle was treated with reverence. Every piece was crafted with purpose. Every movement around it done with intention because it held something sacred. You too hold something sacred. And if that's true, then your life is no longer casual. Every act becomes an opportunity to honor what lives within. Your words are not just sounds. They are carriers of truth or poison, life or death. Your choices are not isolated. They ripple out and reflect the reality that you are a vessel of something far greater than yourself. When you speak, you are speaking from a place of divine identity. So speak as one who knows that words create. Let your speech build, heal, lift, and correct, not tear down, wound, or destroy. Every time you choose love over hate, peace over conflict, patience over anger, you are revealing what lives within. It's not just about moral behavior, it's about alignment with the sacred truth embedded in your being. Actions reveal belief. If someone says they carry light but constantly walks in darkness, their actions expose the truth. But when someone understands they are a bearer of light, they walk into darkness not with fear, but with purpose. They shine. They shift the atmosphere. Your life was meant to be a light in the shadows, a steady hand in chaos, a calming voice in confusion. You do not need to pretend to be powerful. You simply need to reflect the power that is already there. When faced with challenges, you have a choice. Will you act as one who is overwhelmed or as one who is equipped? The strength to overcome is already present, not because of external resources, but because of the internal source you carry. Fear loses its grip when you realize the presence that empowers your steps. Doubt begins to fade when your actions flow from belief rather than emotion. You begin to act, not as a reaction to circumstances, but as a reflection of truth. Every moment becomes sacred when you understand who you are and what you carry. Nothing is too small. A kind word, a silent prayer, a bold decision, a patient response. All of it reflects the reality that your actions are an extension of something greater. Let your life speak louder than your fears. Let your actions point to something beyond your name. And let the world around you be changed, not by your strength, but by the power that moves through everything you think. Powerlessness is a lie that seeps into the mind whenever challenges tower higher than personal strength. Yet the very core of your being carries a reality far greater than any obstacle. You have been set apart, marked by an anointing that is older than time and stronger than any force opposing you. This anointing is not a mystical concept reserved for select heroes. It is a living current flowing through every willing heart, an unbroken line of power that began when words first called light out of darkness. You carry that same creative force, the spark that breathed stars into existence, the pulse that parted seas and raised valleys. If such power once turned chaos into cosmos, it can certainly turn fear into courage and defeat into victory within you. Anointing means you are equipped for the specific battles you face. It is tailored strength, crafted for your personal story, infused into every gift and desire placed within you. The battles you dread have already been measured against the power you possess. The opposition is intense only because the potential inside you is monumental. You may feel ordinary, but ordinary ends where anointing begins. Every time doubt whispers that you are inadequate, remember that oil was poured over kings who once hid in fields and prophets who once trembled at their calling. They did not become fearless overnight. They simply chose to trust the power resting upon them rather than the weakness shouting within. That same choice stands before you daily. You can navigate life by default settings, reacting, retreating, resigning, or you can engage the anointing and live on a higher frequency. When fear rises, speak from your anointed identity. When doors close, knock again with anointing-backed persistence. When you encounter injustice, let righteous boldness flow through you. The anointing is not passive, it is decisive. It does not wait for conditions to be ideal. It makes conditions yield. It pushes back darkness, heals what is broken, restores what is stolen, and multiplies what seems small. Yet anointing manifests most powerfully through humility. Oil flows downward. It seeks the lowest point, saturating every crack. In the same way, power flows through hearts willing to bow. Pride blocks the flow. Humility opens the floodgates. Recognize that the source of your strength is not self-generated. It is given, entrusted, and meant to be stewarded. Use it to serve, not to dominate, to uplift, not to oppress. The more you pour out in love, the more flows in to replenish. This paradox sustains you. Emptying yourself of ego makes room for endless supply. Every place you set your foot can become ground reclaimed for light, not because you possess human might, but because anointed footsteps carry authority. Speak life into weary souls. Confront darkness with unwavering hope, and watch walls crumble at the resonance of power laced in your voice. Refuse to agree with the narrative of weakness. The oil on your life proclaims a different story. You are appointed, you are empowered, and you are unstoppable when you move in alignment with the sacred force dwelling within. Every life tells a story, but not every story is written in words. Some are lived out loud through choices, character, and quiet acts of courage. The world is filled with noise, with opinions, arguments, and surface appearances, yet it is still desperate for something real. That reality isn't found in loud declarations or polished speeches, but in lives that reflect something greater, something sacred. Your life was never meant to blend in. It was meant to stand out as a living testament to something unseen yet undeniably present. Each decision you make, each way you respond, each step you take either dims or reflects the light you carry. If there is goodness within, then let it be shown. If there is truth, let it be lived. Too often people wait for a platform to influence others, forgetting that daily obedience carries more weight than any stage. You may not have an audience, but you have a sphere. People are watching, not for perfection, but for authenticity. Not for religious rituals, but for real change. And nothing reveals that more than a consistent life that acts as if the sacred is within it. You are not simply representing a belief. You are revealing a presence. When you show compassion to someone who doesn't deserve it, when you extend grace where judgment would be easier, when you walk in peace while others panic, you display something this world cannot explain. Your kindness becomes a mystery, your strength becomes a question, and your life becomes a message, echoing without a microphone. Living this way does not require status or fame. It requires awareness, a conscious decision to live from within, not according to culture or circumstance, but from the deeper truth embedded in your being. It's the quiet conviction to do right when no one is watching, the integrity to speak truth when it costs, the courage to forgive when pain demands bitterness. These are not grand gestures, but they speak louder than sermons. To reveal what you carry means stepping into rooms with confidence, not because of personal achievement, but because of inner authority. It means walking through difficulty with calm because you trust something higher than emotion. It means choosing hope in despair, faith in uncertainty, and love in a world cold with indifference. Each of these choices becomes a reflection, a mirror showing others that there is more than what they see. And as your life reflects this deeper reality, others are drawn to it, not to you, but to the source you live from. People are hungry for light, for truth wrapped in flesh and bone, for something consistent in a world full of chaos. You become the answer to someone's silent prayer, the confirmation someone needs, the reminder that something sacred still walks among them. You do not need to prove anything, just live it. Let the way you carry yourself, love others, and face challenges be the evidence, because your life can become a doorway, not just pointing to something beyond, but revealing it right. The message is clear and unshakable. Your life is not small, accidental, or empty. You were made to carry something eternal, and every breath you take confirms it. The presence you hold within is not meant to be hidden. It is meant to shape your words, guide your steps, and illuminate the darkness around you. You are not waiting to become something more. You are already a vessel of the divine, walking this earth with purpose and power. So rise each day, not in fear or striving, but in quiet confidence. Let your life be the evidence. Let your choices echo something greater. And as you walk, speak, and live, remember this truth. Act as if the sacred is within you, because it is, and the world needs to see it.